For today's mindfulness topic, I'm going to do things a little different because I'm hoping that you can practice all of your senses. So instead of starting with the normal mindfulness, quiet time, what I'm hoping that you can do is basically look at the video and around you and try to sort of name as many sensations as you can experience. And remember that physical sensations that you can feel, your hair tickling your neck, the way your clothes are scratchy or something, are actually the most effective for doing mindfulness because it's something that you can really focus on, and it's sort of within your body, it's on your body. But there are 5 senses: taste, smell, touch, sight, and hearing, and just try to use them all. And obviously I don't mean write them down, but just sort of take a note of all the different sensations you're feeling for a second, all around you and in the video, and just so that, because again, I think I've said this, if you rely on only one technique in mindfulness, like I need to be mindful, therefore I'm going to hold on to this table or something like that, or I need to look at this picture, or I need to look at one of these videos in order to do mindfulness, then it's not as effective because you're not out in the world with this object 100% of the time. If you can learn how to do mindfulness just on your own, anywhere you are, then you can use it to be a helpful coping technique to break ruminating thoughts. Okay, this one was kind of a trick again. But, Chekhov's handgun, you can't show a gun and not have it come back, right? I can't trick you once and not trick you again. And what I am expecting that most people would at least consider as a sensation, considering what's in this video, is cold or some variation of that. And I wanted you to sort of experience that thought process so that when I talked about it, that you would really know, instead of going, oh yeah, some people do that, but I don't do that. A lot of people will sort of think of the shoulds when they try to be mindful. Like, I should look at this one thing over here because it's the most beautiful thing to look at, when actually the most captivating thing might be some, strange thing that probably nobody else would look at, or some gross thing, or some weird color, or some lack of color, or something like that. And I mean, the other thing is that you do get influenced by what you should experience. For instance, if you see a perfect, bright red, luscious, plump strawberry, and you think this is going to be the most perfect strawberry ever, and then you bite it, and it's like absolutely tasteless, which unfortunately happens a lot, then you run into cognitive dissonance. Cognitive meaning thinking, and dissonance meaning an extremely jarring, like aggressively jarring difference between what you thought should happen and what actually happened. So you bite into the strawberry and there's a part of you that's still, so go ahead and deny it. And for you deniers, that's why I sat out here in the snow, so that you could sort of get that oh, it must be cold because I'm looking at cold thing going on. I mean, that works really well. The reason why Titanic, the movie, was so successful is because it was a blazing hot summer, and they would watch it, and they would see these people freezing, and it would cool them down. Um, they've proven it. Anyway, I'm getting way off track here. But, yeah, so when you're experiencing something like looking at this beautiful red strawberry, but then the taste of it is different from what you expected, if you focus on what you should be experiencing as opposed to what you are experiencing, then you can't be mindful. That will absolutely break the mindfulness into bits. I don't know how to describe it even more than that, other than be really aware of it. And I don't like the word should. I actually made an entire video about how that's, unless you're actually making a prediction of the future that you are unsure of, like it should be sunny tomorrow or something like that. When it comes to telling people anything about their behavior or thought process, should is just such a bad word, in my opinion. It's so judgmental, and it's another word I heard a lot last week. Oh, you should be feeling this, and instead I was feeling something completely different, and that's reality. But if you're sitting here trying to find, okay, well, I can't do mindfulness unless I have the perfect, beautiful, landscape to look at. No, that's not true. You can do it. It's because the point is, let me find something more beautiful than my thoughts. The point is, let me find something more real that's actually physical, that you can pick up with your senses than your thoughts. That's the point. And if you're judging yourself when you're doing it, it is definitely not as effective because you're judging yourself, so therefore you are not doing focused, concentrated attention on something because you're also thinking, oh, well, I should be doing it like this. And again, it's not easy at all to do that. And to break that habit, you can't do it permanently. You can only do it in very short little bursts. And you got to learn how to do it. I was really surprised when I found out how long ago it was that I learned how to do this. And again, I don't do it all the time. So anyway, let me give you an actual, I'm sorry for the next gap here. Let me give you an actual time to practice real mindfulness where you're not trying to categorize anything or take an inventory, and you're just trying, again, focused attention on something that you can sense. Eyes, ears, skin, tongue, or I don't know. Anyway, here you go. I hope this little series has been helpful. Might have to rewatch it over and over and over again. Sorry for that if it's boring and repetitive. Or at least remember what I had said as tenets and practice it, not looking at the videos, but in your actual life. There's a lot more things that can come from mindfulness if you want to study it further. This is definitely intro. One of the most impressive things is how the sense of smell can affect you, for instance. again, studies, they've proven that if you're studying for something and you use a writing utensil with a distinctive smell, like, pen with a certain smell type of ink, or a crayons or something like that, and you study using that ink, if you're tested on it and you use the same ink, then you will be able to retain the information and test better. I use this technique in my own life. Again, this is advanced. But what I would do is I had 2 different Yankee candles. The reason why it was 2 instead of 1 was because then I could absolutely control when I was smelling it. And so what I would do is I would get myself to the point where I was truly calm state. That's not frequent. Let's put it that way. It's not frequent, so it would be very rare. And whenever I would feel calm, and again, that's one of the things, when you take DBT, you have to take an hourly, at least, sometimes it's every half an hour, check and write it down on what your mood is for 2 years straight. Every single hour or more, you're writing down what your mood is. The point is so that you become aware of it and can practice it and stuff like that. So then I was really aware of what my moods were while I was doing that. And so whenever and the point of it is just so that you're aware for yourself and you can label it and you know what's going on, and you're not just baffled by how you're feeling. You really can be self-aware. Anyway, I would find points when I was truly calm, and then I would immediately burn these 2 extra smelly candles together with their own scent that would almost never be found, because why would anybody burn 2 candles? And the effect of it was that then later, if I caught it early enough and I was feeling myself get anxious, I could burn the 2 candles, and it's like my body would calm down. They would go, oh, the 2 candles are burning. I'm smelling this smell, so I must be calm, whether or not it was true that I was calm. And it would, again, sort of short-circuit the process of me getting super anxious, and I would be able to stop and mitigate the effects of it. Make everything easier and less long. But again, that's advanced level. You can do that, and there's lots of other different ways that you can use mindfulness. But I'm going to not make any more mindfulness videos because I think I've given you the basics on it, which again, to recap, is very focused attention on something that's actually physically happening to you at that moment, so that you can stop worrying about the past and stop worrying about the future, but really focus on the here and now in order to break your thoughts that are running away from you. And basically that's the point of mindfulness. And then once you've learned to do that, you can also use mindfulness to learn how to let thoughts that you don't want to be thinking, that aren't your own, to let them go instead of ruminating on them as soon as they pop into your head. In a nutshell, that's mindfulness. And thanks for watching. I hope they helped. Bye-bye.